It's a little chilly here on South Hill and Puyallup. I didn't want to make an announcement that stay tuned on the channel. Every week we're going to do a live Western Washington multifamily deal review. So every Tuesday at noon Pacific. If you'd like to get invited to that, go ahead and put your email or comments or reach out to us and we'll make sure you're on that. But they'll also be uploaded to the channel every week, the recorded copy of it. But anyway, we're at a fourplex here at South Hill. It's not too bad. I want to talk about some of the pros and cons. There's two and one bath, and then there's two one and one bath. So that's kind of, usually like to see all the units consistent in a fourplex, all two bedrooms, one bath, but this has two one bed units, which are probably the middle. We're in the two bed today, we're gonna tour. It is on septic. Both of these things don't need to be deal breakers, but I just like to point them out. You are kind of crammed in this parcel. There's identical fourplexes, there's three of them here from the busy street inward. We're in the middle one. There's decent parking, I like that. Got some good brick that I like, good solid construction. The exterior's been maintained, has newer windows. Come on in. This unit's been updated a little bit. It's kind of dark. There's no like recessed lighting in the living room. We have baseboard heat. We do have white doors, so this has been updated. This property was built in the 70s, so we like to see that, no more brown. And then, good, decent sized bedrooms and a good sized bath. Pretty straightforward, two bedroom, one bath, baseboard heating. Here, the downside is you do look out into your neighbor's kind of parking area back here, so it might get a little noisy or it's not the best view in the world. It's listed for $829, which, a couple years ago would have flown off the market, but these days I think it has to be like high 700s to make sense, considering it has two one bed units as well, and it's on septic. And the rents are under market, and this one's vacant, so you can at least get this one up to market rent, but the other ones I'm sure are under market. Okay, what do we look for, right, when we do these exterior kind of walk-arounds? We like to see how water drains around the property. It looks like they've got nice new gutters. You can see the Pacific, welcome to the Pacific Northwest. You can see from this angle, hopefully from the camera, all the moss that's growing on the seams of the shingles, so that definitely needs to be cleaned off. Number one thing in the Pacific Northwest is take care of your roofs. If you want longevity, that moss is going to really deteriorate them. This is the shared laundry room. We don't need to go in there. It's coin operated. It's a little, maybe $100 a month. It's not something you really want to depend on or rely on. Again, decent parking. It's good. You can hear some street noise. You have shared trash. I don't see any tagging on any of the fences, any graffiti. That's a good sign as well. But I don't expect it either because you kind of back off the main road. This is kind of a nicer part of South Hill too. Okay, so like I said, we're touring the outside, and you can see that's the sister-looking property fourplex that's facing the busy side of the street. Then we come around the back. Here's the third fourplex, and they've built some, exterior self-storage there for their tenants, which is not a bad idea. I mean, extra $25 is another $100 a month right there to increase your NOI. It's got a back patio for these units, but again, it's not very private. It doesn't cost much to just kind of put up a small privacy fence is what I would do, and maybe then they could come out here and grill, even sit for a second instead of just looking back into this, So it doesn't take a lot. Your septic field is probably back here. I'd be a little concerned with these big trees, more moss on the roof. If Rebecca can show you there too. So both sides of this is getting pretty green. And these trees make a mess, so you want to make sure you stay on top of your gutters. I even see like sticks and stuff sticking out of here, right? So these gutters probably need to be cleaned out. But again, good parking. This actually looks like a duplex. I'm sorry, it's not a fourplex because it has a garage. They have garages. But they started with a little bit of a privacy fence. It was good effort, but I don't know why they didn't take it out a little bit more, maybe even go 3/4 around or something like that. But anyway, stay tuned for the numbers. All right, this is the fourplex that Rebecca and I just got done touring, and I told you I would run the numbers. This is the location of it. Again, it's right in the middle. I thought this was a fourplex as well, but the front one's a fourplex. This middle one that we toured is a fourplex. This is the duplex behind it. So you can see how it lays on the parcel. Running the numbers at $829, which is their asking price. I had to do 30% down. I'm using about 6 and I don't know, a little over a quarter, 3/8 right now. And oops, 4 units here. And so it says that the rents are going to up to these. It didn't say when. I'm going to assume that they bumped it the max, so the currents are probably 10% lower than that because we're, under rental regulations that you can only increase by 10%, 9.65, whatever it is for this year. So I'm guessing these are going to be the pro forma, the new rents. So let's just assume they're under market a little bit. You have some vacancy because there's one unit vacant. Taxes, insurance, I think seems a little lower it's at, so you probably want to budget a little bit more. There's some electrical that's got to be for like the common area in the laundry room. Waters, this is on septic, if you recall, I mentioned. So this is for the water and the trash. I would do what I could to build portions of this back to the tent. You wouldn't recapture all of it because some of it needs to be for the laundry room, the water, obviously, which you're collecting 125 bucks to offset that. That's hardly anything, but maybe at some point you charge the two bed units 75 a unit and the one bed's 50 a unit or something to recapture some of this. That would help your NOI for sure. Budgeting, 300 bucks a month for repairs and maintenance. Not much landscaping needed, maybe 600 bucks for a couple cleanups a year, small cleanups. And self-managed, of course, it's pretty easy to manage something like this if you're local. And anyway, at the current, it would probably be about 133 negative, or maybe run 271 when these new rents kick in, which could be next month. It wasn't very clear in the listing, or it could be towards the end of the 2026 year. So I think, that's pretty crappy. And as I mentioned, probably in the video, ideally probably want to be in the 700s. And whoops, that would be nice, right? 770. It was only 77,000. At least then maybe you're probably going to at least break even or do better, a few hundred bucks. And then when the new rent's kicked in for sure, it's going to cash flow a lot better. Now, again, what do? We don't ever use round numbers. We wouldn't shoot over an offer at 800. That looks like you're just shotgunning for a deal. And sellers and listing brokers like me hate that when we see that. We like to send over well thought out, well analyzed, underwritten deals and make a case for it. Hey, Mr. Seller, I know you're on an 829, but the best we could do is pencil it out at 772. It gets our DSCR over one, and it allows us to cash flow even with the current under market rents something until we can stabilize this and get it up to where it's something that's a little bit more manageable. And again, you're still under a 3% cash on cash return pro forma, but at least now your market cap's you're paying is closer to looking like a six. So still being very, very conservative on appreciation. Rent, prices have been pretty flat in some areas. It's very neighborhood specific. So I just keep it general for our area about 4%. We had double digits for a long time there in the crazy years, but things, flatlined after rates crossed 6%, and we're still seeing modest appreciation in most of King County. Pierce is more flat. Kitsap has been up. But anyway, this is the running of the numbers. This is how we look at something. I think this is a better deal, probably in the 770s. Depends on the rate you get, depends on how long it takes to get these rents or when these are going into effect. But I'm guessing that it's this year, some point in the near future, since the listing broker mentioned it that they're all into that. And yeah, if you have any questions, not a terrible deal. If you're looking to get into South Hill, Puyallup area, good public school district, probably easy to manage this one. There's pros and cons, all kinds of deals, and I'm happy to discuss all those with you. If you reach out and have any questions, let me know. Thank you for watching.